Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we're going to be doing another cheap cars list, but with a bit of a twist, with a bit of a Hearthstone twist on it, okay? Because we're going to be going over cheap JDM cars, but not only that are just cheap, but will actually make you money as long as you hold on to it. Now, I want to make it clear, most people know this, but just in case you don't, modifying your car decreases the value, okay? So what I mean by that is if you buy one of these cars relatively stock, or maybe with a couple problems, and you fix it up, make it look nice and pretty, and then you hold on to it for a couple years, these cars will make you money. I'm not saying you buy one of these cars, add a Rocket Bunny kit to it, put a turbocharger on it, put spinners on the freaking thing, slam it on the ground and scrape on every little pebble in the world, and then try selling it, because that will not make you money, okay? Also, I promised you in the last video that we're going to be starting to make the song of the day, and you're damn right I'm going to start making the song of the day. So the song of the day today is June 22nd by Little TJ. Just kidding, it's a Lil TJ. I'm not that Caucasian. Okay, guys, okay. I can say Lil. I got it in me, okay? But yeah, it's a good song. Go listen to it if you like rap music. If you don't listen to it because you will not like it. But if you do, go listen to it. It's a good song. Without further ado, let's go right into the list with number 10. Coming in at the number 10 spot is the Mazda RX-7 FC. And now listen, I can't go into the future. My time machine broke a couple days ago, okay? I can't go back. But if I could, I guarantee you $500 these cars are going to be worth stupid money. And the reason why is because it's honestly really simple. The FD is worth a lot. Okay, so the RX-7 name is thrown around a lot, and so when people look up RX-7 and they can't afford an FD, they're going to go to the FC. And it's still a really good car. It comes with a 1.3 liter 2-rotor rotary engine making 160 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Now, there is a turbocharged version of that motor, and it makes a little bit more power, but you're not finding that for under 10K, and that is the budget I've given us as a collective group of people in today's video. But yeah, like I said, the RX-7 name is very popular and the FD is incredibly popular. And since the FC's already been going up in price over the past couple years, it's only going to continue to rise. Coming in at the number 9 spot, however, is a car that isn't really in the same boat as the FC RX-7 because it doesn't really have its name thrown around there just yet, but it's starting to. The Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4. Now, these cars have always been teetering right on that $10,000 line anyway, so they already are a kind of pretty expensive car, but I truly believe that they will just keep rising in price. The reason why is because they come with a 3-liter twin turbocharged V6, making 300 horsepower stock, and it's all-wheel drive. That's really freaking good. It's an incredible car. On top of that, it had a lot of futuristic tech on it. Active aero, 4-wheel steering, other things that I can't remember right now, but it had a lot of cool stuff on it, okay? This thing was nuts. And it's only a matter of time before people start learning about these cars when they start to finally fly up in price like they deserve. And trust me, they will. Like, of all the cars on this list that I'm most confident are going to fly up in price, this is probably the one I'm most confident about. Coming in at the number 8 spot is definitely a little bit of a gamble because I could also, as much as I can see them making you money in the future, I can also see them, you know, dying out a little bit and losing some money possibly. The Lexus LS400. The LS400 got a lot of praise, I would say probably a year ago at this point, and it's kind of maintained that praise, but hasn't really gotten much more since then. It comes with a 4-liter V8 making 270 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Now, here's the thing. The reason why the LS400 got so much praise was because it was really freaking cheap, and it was rear-wheel drive with a V8 making 270 horsepower that was reliable as hell. So people were buying them up like crazy last year. Like everybody I know was like, I want an LS400, I want an LS400. People were eating them up. And so it flew the prices up like overnight. These cars skyrocketed in price. But they've kind of died off since then, and they haven't really gained that much since that's happened. But I am willing to bet that eventually people are going to start to want them again, and they're going to rise up again. Coming in at the number 7 spot is a car that pretty much anybody could guess is going to go up in price, but it's only really a matter of time. The Mazda Miata NB. The Mazda Miata NB, really all that it's waiting on before it becomes overpriced is just for people to recognize what it actually is. I feel like a lot of people don't know what this car is, as silly as that sounds. I just said the exact same thing. It comes with a 1.8 liter inline 4 making 135 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. As we all know, the NA Miata over these past couple of years has just become ridiculous. You used to be able to find NA Miatas for under $1,000. Nowadays it's hard to find them under 5K. The NB is that car, but just better in every way. And eventually, when people start to realize that, I guarantee these cars are going to fly up in price. Right now I feel like the reason people are just really want that cute front end of the NA, but once they get sick and tired of paying NA prices, they're going to go with the NB. Coming into the number 6 spot is a little bit of a cheat code because, again, this is a car that everybody in the world kind of knows is going to fly up in price. The Nissan 240SX S13. The S13 has been flying up in price for the past 5 years at this point. Again, just like the NA, you used to be able to find these for around 1K, and that's why they got popular, is because they were dirt cheap, and nowadays it's hard to find them under 5K again, but they still have room to grow. They come with a 2.4 liter inline 4, making 145 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Its performance really isn't worth $5 grand, if I'm being honest. These cars, again, they were bought for the reason that they were cheap. That is it. The KA in them, I know a lot of people like the KA, but I'm sorry to break your bubble, it's not that good of a motor. The car itself is not that fast. It looks cool, I'll give it that, but eventually people that want these S13s are just going to have to pay more and more, and they will never, at least even if these somehow in some way don't go up in price, which that's like impossible, at least you'll keep your money. Coming in the number 5 spot is going to a car that people, I said this before with the LS400, I feel like people are kind of starting to turn away from a little bit, which is very good news for you and me, because they're never going to go down in price. They're only going to continue to go up. It's the Honda Civic EG. Civics in general I feel like are just kind of put on the back burner right now, but they always kind of have been thrown to the back burner, then make an appearance and get a lot of praise for a couple months, and then go back to the back burner. It's only a matter of time before that happens again. It comes with a 1.6 liter inline 4, making 105 horsepower, and it is front wheel drive. It's happened before with almost every Civic out there. The EF, the 3rd gen, 2nd gen, 1st gen. The EG is going through it right now. Even the EK Civics. I mean, you can't find an EM1 coupe for less than 5K anymore. These cars are... Civics just continue to rise. You know, I would even put money that the 7th gen Civic would eventually get some praise and start to rise in price. Like, they truly are always going to continue to rise, and EG is already experiencing it a little bit. Coming in at the number 4 spot is a car we talk about a lot on this channel, and we have already kind of experienced it, because back when I first really started this channel, this car was under 5K, and nowadays, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I don't include it in my 5K list anymore because it's not under 5K. It's the Toyota Supra MK3. People love that Supra name tag, and the MK3 looks really cool. Yes, it doesn't have the best motor. It's only a 3 liter inline 6, making 200 horsepower, and it's rear wheel drive. The motor is actually... I'm gonna make people angry when I say this, but it's the truth. Laughably bad compared to the 2JZ, but it's still a Supra, and people pay money for that name, man. And again, the car looks cool. The motor isn't horrible. It's just not as good as a 2J. And overseas, you can get a 1JZ in them. So it's like, you know, I mean, you're not finding one for under 10K over here in America, but still, like, yeah, it's a good motor. These cars are wanted, and eventually they're just gonna continue to rise and rise and rise. There are shells already selling for like 5K of these cars. Coming in at 3rd place is a car that I am definitely taking a massive gamble on, because it's been out for quite some time now and it has not seen any sort of rise yet. It's the Nissan 300ZX Z31. Now, the Z32 I was thinking about putting here, but that's too easy. You know, the Z32 is the most beautiful Z car ever built. It's obviously going to rise in price, but the Z31 is a gamble. It comes with the same motor, a 3 liter V6, making 222 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. It's pretty much the same thing as a Z32, if I'm being honest, but it just looks different, and it has a worse interior, and it's a little bit harder to work on, even though the Z32 is already very hard to work on. I know, it's mind-blowing that it can be even harder. But yeah, is it the best car out there? Not at all. But it sits under 5K right now. This car is sitting under 5K all day, every day. And it's a rear-wheel drive Z car that I truly believe people are going to come around to and start enjoying more, and will rise up in price. Will it be the most like dramatic rise? Definitely not, but I think it will happen. Coming in at 2nd place is a car that it's kind of like the S13 in a way, where it's cheating a little bit. It's cheating a little bit because they're already kind of seeing praise. The Lexus IS300. These cars used to be under 5K for a manual one. Nowadays, it's really hard to even find a manual one for sale. So they definitely have seen a lot of love. The automatics are over 5K now, so they're definitely getting up there. But I think they're gonna be ridiculous, dude. They come with a 3 liter inline 6, making 225 horsepower, and they are rear wheel drive. I'm honestly dreading like 5 years from now when I have to pay like 10K for an IS300 automatic, because I know it's just going to happen. The 2J that's in it is still pretty good, even though it's not the GTE. It looks really cool. It's short wheelbase. It's a lightweight car. It's got a lot of aftermarket support. People love these things. It's just gonna, oh god, it's gonna be a bad time, man. It's gonna be a bad time in like 5 years from now. But 1st place, the best JDM car that's going to make you some money if you buy it today. It's the Infiniti G35 Coupe. Yes, I believe the G35 Coupe is going to be stupidly overpriced. And I honestly think, especially once people realize that this is pretty much just a rebadged Skyline, it's going to even get more praise, because I feel like nobody even talks about that. They come with a 3.5 liter V6 making 306 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. As we all know, but most people don't, this is just a 350Z in sheep's clothing. I feel like a lot of people gloss over that fact. The 350Z is already getting a lot of hype. The G35 Coupe has kind of stayed the same. I mean, it definitely has risen in price, but not that bad so far. And eventually, once people, again, realize that this is a rebadged Skyline with a 350Z motor in it that looks really cool, has tons of aftermarket support, is great for just about anything you want to do, yeah, they're going to get stupidly overpriced. I mean, the VQ platform in general, any like Z car is going to become overpriced just because they're Z cars and they're like legends. But the G35 Coupe, I would keep your eye out for it. Keep your eye out for it. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the top 10 JDM cheap JDM cars that are going to make you money if you buy them today. Again, I want to reiterate that no, I am not talking about if you buy this car and turn it into a drift missile. It will not make you money that way. People, no matter what car it is, they're not going to pay a lot of money for a pile of junk. So don't turn it into a pile of junk. Keep it clean if you want to make money. I'm not saying not to modify your car. I modify every car I own, and I love doing it, and I recommend doing it. But if you want to make money on it, don't do it. Okay. Also, let me know what you guys thought of this whole song of the day thing. I think I'm going to make that a daily thing, so let me know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.